Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely little folio. It's a really nice size. Oh, actually I haven't measured it, so let's see. It is 3.5 inches by about 6 inches, which is 15 centimeters by about 9 centimeters. So it's really nice size. I've made it with some of my new watercolour papers. It's just a set of 6, which are really lovely just for making tags or little things like this. So we open it up. I've got a little fastening, little Velcro fastening on there, and it just opens up into sort of like 3 little sections. First, a flap, which is on the front one. I've got a little sort of like little pocket on here, or a little envelope with a little, just as simple. I just made these little bits out of the scraps that I had left over, which are really nice. So they're just the scraps backed onto some tea stain paper like that. So that just slots in there, and then I've just tied it with a little bit of it's just a sort of like a little bit of embroidery thread like that. So that looks lovely. I'm not sure, I think, did I put a pocket in there? Maybe not. But you could just glue it down like that, and then you could have a pocket in there as well. So then on this little flap I popped 2 little pockets there, and then I've got some little tabs there, so they're just 2 like that, and then these just slot in, so it's a nice, you can put a little bit of something on the back. Little photos would be really nice on this one. That flips over, and then I've got a long one, so that's nice. This one here is sort of like it sort of like pulls out, so almost like one of those little concertinas on there. Oops, that's gone inside. So then I've got 3 little sort of I had scrap pieces, and I've made them sort of like a little bit smaller than each other, and they've just gone into like little booklets like that. So I've put the first one in the back one. This one goes into the middle pocket, and then this one goes into the first pocket. But again, you can put whatever you like in these. I haven't actually made the little bits to go inside the pockets yet, but I have got everything else ready to show you. So I think that looks nice, so it just sort of like comes out a little bit. And then on the other side, we've got another little pocket there. And then we've got a little piece of writing paper, a little notebook stuck on the middle bit, and then if we open up, we've got 3 sections here, which I've got 3 little scraps of paper which I've just made into little notebooks like that, so they just fit into the little pocket there. And then on this side I've got a little envelope which has got another little tag. I've just done them with a little bit of a tab on the side, just so they're easier to pull in and out. And then, oopsie daisy, let's make sure you go in properly. And a little Velcro fastening on there. And then I've just done a little tag on this one, like that. And then if we close that up, we have another little pocket there with a nice big journaling card in it. So this is what I'm going to show you how to make today, and I think it just looks really lovely. So that just folds up into a little folio. So, oh, quick look, these are the papers. So they're in the shop at the moment, and I just think they are lovely. Nice little pop of colour on there if you want to do something nice and bright. And this is the one that I made the journal cover with. Now this is the journal cover here that I printed it on to some fabric. So this is the one we are doing all the Friday freebies in. So these are the papers I'm using today. So I have got all the bits ready. So let's just start off with the base. I have just used some cards. Now this is probably about 300 GSM cards, but I buy it in big. I can't get the sort of like A4 size card sheets here very easy, so I buy it in the A1 sheets, and they're the bigger ones, and I just cut things down. So this piece of card is, let's have a look, let's start off with inches. So we are 10 inches and then we are 6 inches tall, so that is about 15 centimeters by, I think it's about 25.5 centimeters. So that's the size of the piece, and then I've measured in 3 inches, and then I've got a little, I've just scored 2 lines down there, which is 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 centimeter. Then we've got 3 inches or 9 centimeters, 3.5 inches or 9 centimeters, or 3 inches and 7.5 centimeters. So the 2 outside pieces are the same size, and the middle bit is just 1/2 an inch bigger. So that is the middle bit, so then it just folds up like that. Okay, and then we've got the extra little bit which gives you the little flap here. So all as I've done here, I've tried to measure it, put the measurements on it. So we've got 4.25 this way, or 10.5 centimeters, and then again it's 6 inches tall, or 15 centimeters I think it was, wasn't it? And that we're just going to stick in between, and then it just flaps. Okay, and then I've cut everything out here, so we're all ready to go. So I'm going to just show you these bits first. I've cut out these, which I am just going to stick on like this for the middle and the end. So I'm going to put all of these bits on, and I have cut these just like 1/4 of an inch around the outside. Okay, so it's just slightly smaller. You can have them the same size if you want to, it's entirely up to you, but I just like sort of like, because this is a beautiful purple background card, so I thought it would be quite nice just to see the background. So I'm just going to stick these on like this. I'm just going to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac on these because I know it will stick it down well, and it'll be a little bit quicker. So I just want you to have everything ready on here and stick them on. Now I have got some lovely Halloween papers actually coming out, which I will show you in the next video or two, but I think this would make a lovely little Halloween journal as well. So which I might sort of like make something a little bit similar to this, which I think would look quite nice. So these are quite simple, so we will just stick these in, and I'm just loving these papers. I think they're just a nice pop of colour if you're making tags or anything, because these are the ones that I've made, which way, I don't think it really matters which way up it goes. These are the ones that I made some of these little paperclip tag pockets on there, so they were nice. So I think they look nice and bright. So let's turn over, stick these onto the back like this. You can use glue stick, you don't have to use obviously Fabri-Tac, use whatever glue you've got, whatever you like to use, but this is quicker for me to do. I did get all the bits and pieces ready because it's a lot quicker and it's a lot easier. You don't have to sit and watch me cut everything out. And I did put the sizes on everything, so you can see what size I've cut everything to size. So let's put this last one on here like that. Put that one on the back. Okay, perfect. So this is the inside, and that just folds up like that. So that looks lovely. Now again, you can probably put a pocket on the back if you wanted to, but I just wanted to sort of like have it smooth on there. So this piece then will fit and stick onto there like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to decorate this piece first before we start sticking it in, because I did actually stick it in before I decorated it before, which wasn't the easiest. Now I've already made the little notebook as well. So this is just, you could make this out of scrap paper if you want to do, and I've just popped this over. We are 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches, and that's 7 centimeters or 2 3/4 inches. And then I've just got a little bit of the paper which I've just wrapped over the top. Now I've sewn this around here. I haven't sewn anything on here. I'm just sticking everything on, but I did sew this bit. That's the only bit that I sewed on there. And then I've just made a little pad of paper which we will stick onto there. I think there's probably about 9 or 12 sheets in there. So that will we stick on later. So let's just pop that up there and start sticking some bits on here. So I have a pocket. I have already cut these 2 pieces out. So they go on there, and that goes on there. That goes on there. Now I need to check this because I've got everything on there. So we have our little flip out. Okay. So these are the first ones. So these are the little pockets that go on this front piece here, and I have cut these, which is probably the only piece that I haven't put the sizing on. We are 2 3/4 inches or 7 centimeters, and these are 1.5 inches or about 3 3/4 centimeters, like that. So these I'm just going to just stick on there like this. Let's pop it this way, it'll be a lot easier. I'm going to stick these on with a little bit of tacky glue, I think will be easier. Now I've inked around the edges on these as well, just so it's almost like a little bit of a grungy watercolour, isn't it? So let's just pop that one on there. Now I've got pencil marks on here and I don't have a rubber, so I'm going to try and have to cover them up. Don't know why I wrote them on the bottom. It's a bit silly, wasn't it? But that's okay. We will try and cover that up a little bit there. Okay. That's that one. And I'm going to turn that. So this is the inside one. So we're going to have one of the long pockets on here. And all I did, I've just got the paper and I've just cut a little circle in here. To get the middle, all I did was bend it around and pinch this bit. And then when you go to cut it with your little cutter like that, make sure this sort of like middle bit is in there. So you level it off. So then you know that you're in the middle. So this has got to go round this way, and again I've just cut it just tiny little bit smaller than these. So this is 6 inches, so that's like 5 3/4 inches or 14.5, which is, what was, did we say that one was, just 15 centimeters, so just slightly smaller. Just so you've got that nice little edge around it. A little bit of glue around the edge. So we can use the tacky glue because it's just sticking sort of paper to paper. Like that. Stick this on. I haven't embellished it too much. I've just popped a few of my sort of words and phrases on there. Okay, now this pocket here, no, it's not a pocket, it's the little pull-out one. And what I've done, I've got 3 pieces of paper like this, they're all the same, and I've just folded them in half. Now this is, I've got them on here, so we are 4, I think it's folded in half. So yeah, so that's 9 centimeters, so that's 18 centimeters long. But again, you can have them as long or as short as you like, or as big as you like. So we've got 4.5 inches by 9 centimeters, or 1 7/8 of an inch by 3.5 inches. Okay, so we've got 3 of those, and I'm just popping those together like that. And then I have a little piece which is going to go in there. I hope this is making sense. So just fold some papers over, and then I've got another piece which will just go over the top like that, just as the cover. Okay, so it's the same size, and I've just folded it up and under like that, just to hold those in. So with these ones, so it doesn't matter, I've got the writing on there. I'm just going to glue down the edges, obviously, so they don't come apart. I just used them this size because they were just scrap pieces of paper that I could use up. And then we'll just stick it to make little pockets like that. And here, so just a little bit of glue down either side. So where you can use little bits of scrap paper, do, because we all seem to have lots left over, don't we? So these are just simple little pockets like this. Oh, come on, glue, out you come, there we go. A bit down here. So that's our 3 little pockets, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little line right down the middle like that, and then stick this one over the top. Make sure I'm up the right way. Stick that, oops, stick that on the top like that. And then the same with the other one. Pop that down, just a little line of glue. Pop that on like that. Stick that down. We need to just make sure that is stuck, and then this opens up like that so you can see. I'm going to have to add a little bit more glue. A little bit more glue there. Just hold that down. I won't open it up yet. And then what I'm going to do is glue this down. Which one shall I glue down? I think I will glue this piece like this. And then this goes on to there like that. Let me stick this down. And then that just sticks on the back. Like that. So then we have our little pocket. So then this will open up when it's dry. Like that. So we've got our little pocket. Or our little concertina. Oops, I've got glue all over there. And that sits on there. But underneath there, I'm just going to pop this little piece, which is 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And then I've just popped that on there and that over the top like that. So it's got like a little background to it. I will stick that on with a little bit of Fabri-Tac like this. So we've got a little background to it. I think that's, I like that little, the little purple flower. I think I'll have you at the top like that. And then we can just stick this onto there. And a bit of this. Just a little bit of Fabri-Tac. Like this. Oops. Pop that on. Like that. So let's stick that down, make sure that she's stuck down nicely. I won't pull it out because I will probably pull it off. And then again, let me put my lid on here. I'm going to take this other piece and then pop this onto the side. So then we have our little pockets on here. So this can go on here like this. I've got the sizing on here, look, so it's just slightly smaller. Okay, cover up my pencil marks on there. And there we go. Perfect. So that's on there. And that's our little flap. So do you think we can open this up yet? Now I need to stick something in there really. What have I got? Just to open them up. My well-used little scory tool. That can go in there. And there we go. Just to make sure they are in there and opened up properly. And then we've got our little pockets. So there we go, perfect. So shall we stick this onto here? I'm going to use a bit of Fabri-Tac. Pop this down here. Like that. Again, if you wanted to sew, you could probably just sew this in. And I'm going to stick that on there. Like that. Make sure in the center. But again, like I said, you could just do a little stitch down the middle like that. That's it. I think that's in the middle. So let's just leave that for a second to dry. I'm going to leave that for a second, and then I'm going to get on with this. Is the last page. This is the end page. So on this one I have this like little pocket that I want to so it opens up like that, so it comes out. And then this one is, let's measure, because I didn't measure this one, did I? So we are 14.5 centimeters, or about 6 inches. And then that's 6 inches, I know, 5 3/4 inches, or 14.5 centimeters. And then I have just left a little sort of bit to stick down, which is 1.5 centimeters, or a 1/2 inch, a little fold there, and I folded that over, which is about 2.5 centimeters. Which is just under 2.5 inches, which is just under 6 centimeters. And I've just folded that in just so we can make like a little pocket. And then again, I've just cut out a little notch in there. So we will just stick this down like this, and a little bit on this side. This in like that. And then what we're going to do, you could probably stick this under there actually, if I thought about it, couldn't I, before I stuck that on, but it doesn't matter. A little bit of Fabri-Tac I'm going to pop on here, 3-in-1 I mean, not Fabri-Tac. So this is going to stick onto there, like that. Oops. There we go. Yes, I think probably it will be a little bit better if I put it under this piece of paper than on top. Never mind. Okay, so that's the little flap. So that's simple. And I think that looks nice, so that just flips up and that goes in like that. So how are we off for this? Is that dry? That's dry, isn't it? There we go. That's our little flappy pocket. Lovely. So let's start on this bit. Shall we do the front cover now? The front cover is the little one that opens up like that. Okay, so let's measure this one. So again, we've got 2 inches or 5.5 centimeters by 8 inches or 20 centimeters. And then what I've done, I've just folded it up. I folded it up, how far? So about 8 centimeters I folded it up, or about 3 inches. And then I've just got a little flap on here, which is about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters, like that. So that will just sit on there like that. Let me just take this one out of the way. And then I've got a little flap here. So this is what I'm going to pop the little eyelet on with here. So this is what I've done on this one. I've just made a little flap to pop the little eyelet on, to tie it together. And then this one is 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch. Did I not measure this way? So this is about 5.5 centimeters or 2.25 inches. And then what I'm going to do, let me just check on the time. We're doing okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my little crocodile here, and we will make the little holes in here first before I stick this on. Which is the big one. Let's just make a little hole in there to put the eyelet in, and one on here. Take a couple of little eyelets. Got some little pink ones in here. What shall we have? Shall we have 2? Oopsie daisy. Let's have some 2 darker pink ones on there. It's just, oh, I'm so dreadful. I can always knock them out. Make sure they're in. Clip that on. Do the same with this little one. There we go. Perfect. And then I'm going to, actually I didn't ink that, did I? I should really ink that. Let me just get a piece of paper. A little bit of ink. See how much I got on here. Got anything on there? Just so it's got a little bit of colour on there. There we go. That looks a little bit better because I inked that one, so we need them sort of like to match a little bit, don't we? Let's pop that out of the way. Okay. Now we are going to stick the pocket together. Now I'm going to make, or I would like to make a lap book at some point. I don't know whether I've already said this before, but I was going to make a sort of eclectic type of journal. But I think I might sort of like try and do a lap book because I've never made one before, and I really fancy doing that. Bit of a bigger project I think I fancy doing. So now I'm just going to fold this little one up. What's that? What shall I fold that up? 2 centimeters, 3/4 inch. Just fold it up like that, just so that we can glue that on the other side, just so we've got something to sew on. Not sew on, to tie together, isn't it? So let's just glue, just stick that on there like that, and that just flops open. Perfect. That done. So then we want to stick this onto here. Let me just pop that on there, stick that on there. Now I don't think I did make a a little gap in there. No, I didn't. I think I did it on the back one, didn't I? So I'm just going to stick this down. I'm going to stick it all the way around, I think. Like this. Put this on. Like that. Stick that down. Okay, and we can tie that up in a minute. So this opens up, that opens up. So let's stick our little booklet in, shall we? Let's pop this in there. What I did, I just glued the top of this on. And because I sort of like sewed it, they will sort of like perforate, so you can sort of like pull them off like we did our little notepads before. So I'm just going to stick that. Make sure we are level at the top. So let's just hold that down. And we've got our little notepad there. Lovely. Yes, I should have really put that underneath, but that doesn't matter now. And then I've got some little pockets on here. Let's have a look. Did I put, yes I did put three little pockets on there like that, which look nice, don't they? So where should we have the first one? Sort of there. A little bit of tacky glue. Like this. It's not, doesn't take too long to make once you've sort of like cut all the pieces out. It took me a lot longer to figure out what to put on each little panel. So that's why I thought I would cut it all out ready, and then you don't have to sort of watch me cut everything out. So I did tell you what size these were, didn't I? Yeah, they're 2.5 by 2 inches. So 2.5 inches by 2 inches, or 5 centimeters by 5.5 centimeters. So that's how big they are. But again, you can have them longer or wider, or not as big or smaller, or different sizes. This is just to sort of like give you just a little rough idea. Again, you don't have to put, if you're going to make one, you can put the pockets on the front or wherever. You just mix and match it around, can't you? It doesn't have to be exact. Just gives you a nice idea on a little folio like that. So yes, I do want to make a lap book as well, so I need to have a look and see how many people have done them. I haven't really looked, but I did see a couple on Pinterest. Look really good. Quite time consuming, I think, but I think it will be lots of fun. So yeah, we've got nice little pockets there. That's perfect. And then on this one, I'm going to pop that little pocket there. And then we want a little bit of Velcro on this one, don't we? This pocket, did I tell you what this pocket was? I can't remember. So we have got 5.5 inches or 12.5 centimeters, and then 3.5 inches or 7.5 centimeters wide. And then I have folded this one up at 5.5 centimeters or just over 2 inches. Is that right? 5.5? Yes. It's more like 5 3/4 actually long, and 14. So I don't know where I got those measurements from. So that is 14.5 centimeters or 5 3/4 inches. Let's measure this way. And that's 7.5 centimeters or 3 inches. So I've got these measurements right, but not those ones. Don't know where they came from. And then again, I've just measured up just over 2 inches or 5.5 centimeters. And then the little flap is 2.5 centimeters or about 1 inch, like that. And then again, I've just cut a little notch in there. So let's just stick these down on here. Lots of measurements today, like that. As long as you get the base of the actual thing, which is 10 by 6 inches, you can sort of like make up the little bit in between, can't you? Cut little pieces off. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as this. So I'm going to just stick that on here. I'm going to stick it on with a little bit of Fabri-Tac. Leave the top base open. So just go down the sides like this. Just go around 3 edges and leave the top open, and then that means you can have a little tag or something in the top. Oops, bit too much glue there. There we go. So perfect. So I actually got all the pieces together. So that's good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop a little one of these. Now I've got half of one here, which I think I should be able to use. These are just like the little Velcro tabby bits on here. Let's just stick that on there. See if that will work. Hold that down. Oh, so we only needed, oops, we only need a half a little one there, and these are just little Velcro stickers on here, which are great. So there we go. So that's done. Now I have got some of my words and phrases here. I think it's, I'll pop a link down to what number it is and the link underneath. So I've got some little ones on here. So let's just go to the front, and then I'm going to do that goes on there and that goes on here. So what shall we have? I was thinking of putting my happy place on the front there, and then you can write all sorts of nice little bits and pieces in here. Just pop it like that. Let's just ink this up. A little bit of ink on there. Very, very simple decoration embellishments I'm putting on, because I don't think you need too much. I did put a little bit of fabric under the other one, I believe. Let's have a look. Yes, I did, but I'm just going to stick this on here like that, which I think looks nice. So that's just a very simple front on here, and then we are going to pop a little bit of cotton or something. What did I do with it? This is just out of my little signature box, sewing in my signatures. So let's just take a little bit of this. I'm going to just pop that. Let's just cut a bit off. Pop it through this way. Just make a little loop in there, and then we'll do the same as the top. Cut that off. Doesn't need to be this long, but I would rather have it too long than too short. Let's pop that through there. Tie it up to see how long we need it. Oh, I don't know, maybe that is not too far off actually, I think. Let's just cut that a little bit. Make sure that's level. I'm going to tie a knot in the end. I'm going to tie both of them, the pieces like that, together. And then on this one as well. Perfect. Oops. Cut the little endy bits off. That goes down, and we can just tie that up, so then you can just pop whatever you like inside, like that. Don't want that little piece in there, do we? So that's that one. That's the little pockets there, and we were going to pop something. I had a little word on here, so what should we have? Ideas, love. Well, that looks better, doesn't it? A little bit of this on here. Oops, I don't ink all over my nice little white pad of paper in there. A little bit of glue. We can stick that on top there. Okay. Now, what shall we put on here? Shall we put thankful? Shall we put grateful? Shall we put grateful? And then I might actually pop ideas on the top of the notepad. We could just pop that on there like that, couldn't we? I think it would look quite nice. Let's just ink this around. There we go. Pop a little bit of this on. And just stick that on there. Just a little word. And then we need to really make a tag to go in there. Should we do this? Stick this one down. I'm going to stick this one down with a little bit of 3-in-1, I think. Halfy, so I like that. That looks nice. Little ideas, so you can write all your little ideas down on there. Perfect. So I think that's pretty much it, as about, except for making our little bits to go inside. So that folds down, this will fold in, and then that folds in. So we just need a little Velcro circle, little sticky circle to go on that. These are really sticky. Let's get one on the end. So these stick extremely well. Now let's stick it on here, this side first. That folds down, get that out of the way. There we go. Stick on there. Look at that. Doesn't that look lovely? I think it looks really, really nice. There we go. And then that just opens up. Perfect. And then I won't make the little tabby bits on there, but what I've just got some leftovers here, which I've just, or shall I make the tabby bits, which I've just popped in here like that. So we could make, if I cut that in half, I will just show you how I did it. I'm going to just take my little cutter here, let's just move that to the side, just take that little edge off. So let's make sure that they fit in here. Yes. Oops. Get hold of this one. I'm going to put them together. One's just slightly bigger. I'm going to take my little corner punch, just cut around, just take that little edge off, because I think I just like the little rounded edge like this. I'm not going to back these with tea stain paper, and we'll just pop these in. like this. And then we want another little piece, which we want to make a little tab, don't we? So if we just bend just a little piece over, just so these are just being made out of the little scrap pieces. Another little bit, just bend it over, ink it up like this, both sides, and the little one. Oops. And I'm going to get a little bit of glue. Pop that on here. Hold that together and just stick that on there. Just so you've got like a little tab pull. Like that. And we'll do this same with the other one. Oopsie daisy. Ping it across the desk. Same on this one, just pop that in the middle like that. So move all my bits and pieces out of the way, and then that will just slide in to the pocket like that, and then you've got your lovely little tabs to pull them in and out, so it's a lot easier to do like that. Then I just do like the little tags, and then again you'd make a long one. That piece has been folded, so we don't want that, do we? I will need to get another piece of it here. So this is another piece. I don't really want that to go in there because that's the same, isn't it? Let's have another piece. Looks like I'm going to be making them all, so let's just get my little cutter, and let's just make a little tag. Let's just cut a little piece off here first. I think that's probably going to be too big, but we're going to have it roughly. We want it to come out. Scissors out of the way, so let's just cut it like this, and then I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to cut it down to 2 inches. Now that's going to be, is that going to go in there? Probably glued it all down, haven't I? Let's see, let's make an opening in there like that. That still doesn't fit. Let's go down a little bit more. 1 3/4. There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? That slips in and out better. So that's 1 3/4 inches. And I'm going to cut just a little bit off. That's perfect size. So that is 3 3/4 inches by just about 1 1/2, just over 1 1/2 inches. So then I'm going to cut little corners off so it looks like a nice big long tag like this. So yeah, try and use up the little bits that you've cut off if possible to make little tags and pockets. And then I'm going to take my great big scissors in the way. I'm going to do a little tab as well for this one. Just ink it. Oops, a bit of glue would help. Less I need a thicker one, I think, because what I want to do is pop a little eyelet in it. So let's just go for a bit thicker. That might be a little bit too thick, but no, I quite like that. Let's ink that. stick this one on. Oops, pick it up. Pop that on there like that. Then I'm going to pop a little eyelet in the top, just as a little bit of sort of decoration. Just embellish it a little bit. Pop a little hole in there. Come out. What did I do with my little eyelets? Here we go. What colour should we go for? Should we go for, let's go for this one. Let's go for a lighter one. Pop that in there. There we go. So doesn't that look nice? So that just pops in there like that. So I think that looks good. So we could have another little one in here, couldn't we? I think that will fit in there. Yes, it does. I'm going to cut it down a fraction. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit, just so I can pop a tab on it. Cut the little corners. I do love this blue. I think it's such a lovely blue. Let's get that out of the way. Ink around the edges. And then how far in will that go? Oh, it goes in quite far. Little tabs. Let's pop, oh look, we can pop this little tab that we were going to pop on the other one, can't we? Pop that one there. Oops. Again, if you are a sewer and you like to sew, you can always sew this and sew around these. So that will sit in there nicely. Look at that. Perfect. And then we've got our little one there. So, shall we do a few more? We might as well finish it off, mightn't we? So let's do our little tabby pockets in here. So what do you think? Unless I use... Should I use a bit of this one? So let's use leftover is this. So I'm not quite sure how big. Do you think I can fit that? I think this is a bit thick. It's a bit too thick to go in there. Let's just cut this down. I'm going, oh, I could use this, couldn't I? Perfect. So that needs to be 1.5 again. Let's cut this down to 1.5. That can go in there. So eyeball it. So that's going to be about there, which will be 2. If I do it 2 inches, then I can put a little tab at the top, can't I? So if I do 2, they don't all have to be the same. So that will be 2 inches by 1.5 inches. Now, do I have another bit I could use? Let's have a look. That could be 1.5. There we go, 1.5 by 2, and we will round the corners. Here we go, and then we just need a little tab on it, so we can use up these little pieces here. So let's just make 3 little tabs like this. Oops, fold these over. Don't think I quite cut this one straight, did I? Oh, that's okay. A little bit of ink Oops. Go. Oops, sorry, but my battery just went then. So I finished these off, so these can just slot in our little pockets there. So they are real, look like little hidden pockets, don't they? So I think that is lovely. So we've got our little tag in there. We've got these. Shall I make a little long pocket? I might as well finish this, mightn't we? So I didn't want that one in there, did I? So let's just get another piece to make some little pockets. Not pockets, little tags. Let's just take my cutter quickly, move all my bits and pieces out of the way. Let's just cut this down. Just cut a couple of strips so that I've got some bits to work with. Let's have a look. So I need to do 2 long ones. So let's get some of these long ones done. Let's pop that in there. So this is going to be, where's my pencil gone? I'm going to have to just pop it like this. I'm going to just eyeball it and then I will measure it for you. And that will fit in there. Let's see. A little bit more. Let's just cut this down a little bit. There we go. That fits. Chop it on. So I'm going to do 1.5. So that is 1.5 by 5. So 1.5 inches by 5 inches, or 12.5. Oops. By 3 3/4 centimeters. So I need 2 of these, don't I? Not just one. There we go. And that will fit in there. So let me do that again. So we have 2 of them. Still got a nice big desk, and I need a bigger one because I'm using up so much space. We never have enough space on our desks. I'm sure you are all the same. Very good at using up all our space. There's one. I do like them rounded, like I said before. I think it looks really cute round. Ink them up. Again, you can back them with whatever you like, but I'm going to just put them in like this just to save a little bit of time. Again, back them onto a little bit of tea stain paper or something and just give them that little edge like I did on the other ones in my other little folio. There we go. Again, we want a little tab, so let's take a little piece of this, cut that down, 2 little tabs. It's probably not very straight. 1. Even it up a little bit. Another little bit of inking. And here. This is a nice sort of like project if you wanted to do it. Oopsie daisy. Like a little sort of Sunday afternoon project, isn't it? I think. Oh, do you think that's a little bit too big? Really? I think it should be okay. I quite like these little tabs. Again, you can make them sort of like flatter if you wanted to. But I was just making them up so they're easy to go in. There we go. That's that one, and then we want this one on here. You could probably, yeah, use your little page tabs actually, couldn't you? Journal page tabs on here. I didn't think of that. I think that would probably cook quite nice. And then that will just fit in there. So we've got our little tabs sticking out. So what do we need to do now? We need something in our little pocket, and then we need three little things to pop in here, don't we? So shall we take our tag and see if our tag will fit in here? I don't think it will. I think it's a little bit too thick. So I think probably about an inch wide with these. So let's just cut a couple down like this. They're only sort of thin, aren't they? There we go. Perfect. Just pop that in there. You could probably do it a little bit thicker than that, a little bit wider than that, but it's going to be about that long, which I will measure it for you in a minute and let you know. So this is an inch by just over 4 inches. It's not very straight. So yes, that's an inch. Don't think I've cut these very straight, have I? Yes. I do need one more. Do you think this one will fit? Yes, that will fit, won't it? Look at all these lovely little bits left over. You could make a little patchwork bag like I did in the last one of my other videos, couldn't you? With all the little leftover bits and pieces. So let's just round the corners. Now I'm going to do it with a little tiny one this time. I don't seem to use the middle one. I don't know why. I think it's because I like to use this upside down and not like this way. So it's a bit awkward to use that side. So I always end up sort of like using the other side. Go. I'm just going to pop these ones in. Let me just put this up. I don't know whether you can see, so I can just pop that one in there, that one in there, and that one in there. And I'm just going to just pull them up so they're a little bit layered like that. Perfect. So there we go. And then what was it? I just needed something in here, and then we are done. I didn't put my tag back. Let's pop you back in there before you get lost in amongst all of my stuff. Let's see, I can probably have one a little bit thicker than this, can't I? So if we can get that in. So about 3 inches I would have thought. Let's pop that in there. What bits and pieces do I have left over there? And that's too small. I'm going to have to cut another piece off here, I think. So we will do this. I'm going to do it 1.5 inches. Shall I measure it before I cut it? I should, really, shouldn't I? Let's just see if this is going to fit. Oh, tight squeeze. So I'm going to measure it about there. Let's do it there, and I'm going to cut just a fraction off here. So we're just under 1.5 inches, just so we know it's going to fit. There we go. Going to just cut that like a little tag. Just like that. Perfect. So I do believe this is a little bit of a longer video than I normally do, but I did have fun. I hope you could understand my measurements on there. I will try and put them on screen as I measure, so if I remember to do that. So there we go. So this comes down, we've got a lovely little tab in there. This comes in, and then we can just tie that off like this, can't we? Little bow. I've just used this cotton one, but again you can use ribbon or something. So we have our little pockets. So we've got one pocket there, we've got 2 pockets there, we've got a long pocket, we have 3 little pockets in there, a pocket here, which I love. I'm quite liking this size, or this style actually. I think looks nice, but I think I would probably change this for little page tabs, so we're a little bit more prettier. Our little notepad there, we have our little tags there, our little pocket there, our little tag in there. This one, we need one more. I'm going to have to finish it. So I'm going to have to make one, because we can't miss the last pocket, can we? So what do you think? This one is a little bit bigger. So that might actually fit. Shall we do this 5? I'm going to just do that 5 inches, I think. Do you think that will fit in there? Oh, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Let's just cut a little tab. And then we will be done. I couldn't leave the last little pocket, could I? There we go. Let's just ink this up. And then we are all done. Perfect. And then I must go and have something to eat, because my tummy is rumbling now. So a nice cup of coffee, I think. Nice cup of coffee, and I do believe I got some cake downstairs. Oops, I didn't finish this one either, did I? Pop that in there. Just around the edge. So if I do make one of these, I might make one maybe slightly different, but I think I'll do sort of like a Halloween-y one. With the Halloween papers. So I will show you the papers in another video, probably my next video, or maybe even later on, so we shall see. Pop that on there like that. Perfect. And then that goes in there, our little pocket. There we go, guys. Now I think we are actually finished. So that folds down, that folds down, and that folds down like that. So I think that looks lovely, doesn't it? My happy place opens up. We've got it so it just flips like this, and this is a nice one to go into your handbag if you wanted. You could actually pop, I do like the idea of having little sort of like pictures on there as well. But I think that's lovely. And then this is the other one that I did. That folds in, so I have 2. So these are nice little Christmas stocking fillers that I've got here, which are lovely. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun making it. Please stay safe, take care, have fun crafting, and I will see you next time. Alright guys, bye bye.